Hello and welcome to another episode of the Art of Trying podcast. How are you going, Mum?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Good.
Very well indeed.
Fantastic.
Another good week for you?
Yeah, they're going by pretty quick at the moment.
They really are.
Yeah, I've been pretty busy actually the last couple of days. So yeah, no, it's been good.
Well, that's good.
But busy, yes.
That's good. Well, I just want to thank everyone for making it all the way to episode 5.
Yes, 5.
Episode 5, and thank you all for your feedback and your lovely messages and comments on episode 4 last week. What did we chat about? It was money, wasn't it?
Money.
Yep,
money.
We did Mum, I don't think we have the rights for that song.
No, sorry.
We may get sued by ABBA.
Oh, well.
So thanks for that.
That's okay. It'll make millions. Just that little clip. Don't worry.
Yeah, we spoke about money in business and money in our lives, and I think it was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was good. I think it was a bit shorter than the other ones we've done before, but...
Actually, no, it was about the same length.
Oh, was it? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Which is weird, because it felt like...
It felt really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Felt like we had no idea what we were talking about, but...
Same as any other week.
Yeah, no, I know.
I do feel a bit better about this week, however. I feel like I have a bit more knowledge on this.
This week is going to be a little bit different to what we've been doing. We had a request. Second week in a row.
Yep.
Second request in a row. How wonderful. Keep them coming because, we're going to run out. And then we had a request to speak about our immigration to Australia.
That's the one. Yep.
So for people that don't know, we're English or British. How would you identify yourself? Would you be English, British?
I generally say that I'm English. Yes. Yeah. I don't say that I'm British. I mean, I'm proud to be British, but if someone asked me, I would say I'm English because I'm from England.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, and I've realised how bloody posh I sound as well now, listening back to my own voice.
Yeah, no, it's.
I've sort of got a non-accent, but you can tell that I'm English. Definitely.
Definitely.
But I don't know whether anyone would be able to identify where I was. I mean, you can tell where I'm not from. Like I don't have a really strong accent like a Brummie or, Liverpool or anything like that. But just bog standard. British.
So
English.
We moved. When did we move to Australia? It was 2011, wasn't it?
2011 was when we actually moved.
August
27th.
Yes. 27th? I thought it was 22nd.
Probably should have had this information to hand.
Well, I thought you would just know it, considering.
No, you're right. You are actually right. It was the 22nd, but we went to Singapore, didn't we? It was when we arrived in Australia, was the 27th.
Was the 27th.
Yeah, because we spent a few days in Singapore.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
As a little holiday.
Yeah.
Which is quite wonderful. Singapore, lovely, lovely place if you haven't been. I recommend going to Singapore.
I love it. It feels like a second home to me because I lived there for a while.
I mean, obviously, don't go to Singapore right now.
Well, no, not right now. But no, it is a lovely place to go for. I mean, even a long weekend. It's it's beautiful there. I'd highly recommend it. Yes. So you're right. The 22nd, we left the UK.
Yeah.
A sad day, I think. I mean, it was. You laugh because it was like probably the worst day of your life.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah. No. At the time, because I was like, what was I? I was 16.
16. Yeah.
So something like that happening to a 16-year-old is obviously the end of the world, and nothing's ever going to go right ever again. Yeah. My parents are the worst people in the world.
Yeah, and your life is officially over.
Yeah.
Yeah, been there, done that several times over as a teenager moving around. But we'd looked into coming to Australia since. Early 2000s because we came over via Singapore again. Actually, met Nick, just me. Met your dad in Singapore and then came down to Brisbane because that's originally where we wanted to live.
In Brizzy?
Was in Brisbane. It was just warmer, But our problem was neither of us at the time had a degree, so we were purely on points. and we didn't get enough to live where we wanted to live, but we could have lived rural. So we looked at Toowoomba, and at the time it was lovely and the houses were amazing compared to what we could have got in the UK, but it was just so far. I was like,
Toowoomba sounds as though it's in the middle of
bloody Woodwork.
nowhere.
That's what it felt like for me. It was literally 2 hours in any direction. Just close your eyes and point, and it would literally take you 2 hours to get to a shopping centre. And I was like, no. So yeah, we decided to that was it. And for us, it was quite hard because then it was, like our dream was over. And it wasn't until probably 2009, your dad was coming down here working a lot over 2008, wasn't he?
Remember that.
And it was 2009 when it was first suggested by his company that it could be a move for us. I don't think we discussed it with you kids at that point.
No.
And it was on,
you didn't.
And it was off, and it was on, and it was off for 2 years, and it was really ridiculous. And I said to him in the end, I said, look, I don't even want to know anymore. As far as I'm concerned, it's a no. We're not going ever. And until you've got that visa in your hand or the company's given you something in writing, I'm not interested. Don't talk to me, because it was just exhausting,
I can imagine.
So yeah, then when it did actually come about, Melbourne, I'd never been here. Your dad had a couple of times, I think, but I'd never been to Melbourne. The only part of Australia I'd seen was Brisbane. Yeah, that was it.
Oh. So when did you first find out that it was official, it was happening?
That it was official would have been the end of 2010. We were granted our visa in December of 2010. And we came on a 457, so it was his work-sponsored visa.
I'm assuming you found out prior to me.
Yes, but not... I mean, it wasn't long before we told you. We had to sort of keep it in the background, if you like. We didn't just spring it on you that, hey, guys, we're going. It wasn't...
Kind of did. But...
I think we'd talked about it enough that it was something that was going, it's in the pipeline, a possibility.
I think we always knew that you guys really liked Australia and all that sort of stuff. I think you mentioned it before that there was a possibility of us moving down there. I didn't believe it. No,
I think that's probably the thing, isn't it? It's more of, I just put that to the back of my mind because I don't want it to happen, so therefore I'm not going to think about it.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, it was in the forefront of my mind because I wanted it to happen, and it just felt like a really long road.
Yeah. So, what was your initial reaction when Dad told you?
Oh, I was super excited. Must
be nice.
I was nervous because I didn't know how you guys were going to react. But for me, from the background that I'd come from, I left England when I was 9. And I moved all over the place until I was 16, just before I was 17, when I then went back to England on my own, because my parents then were still living abroad. So moving around wasn't an issue for me. I did understand what you guys went through, though. It is because I was obviously a teenager, and most of the time I just wanted to be wherever my friends were. But I did... quickly realised that you make friends so quickly, and I think I had that in my head coming here to Australia. For you guys, I was like, you're going to make friends, it's going to happen, it's not like it's going to be awful for the rest of your life. So but I hadn't seen it from my parents' point of view, as in the amount of work that goes into moving. I hadn't even thought about that, so I was just excited. We're going, it's great. And it was just a new adventure. So I was super excited. But how did you feel when you were first told?
Well, you probably know this, but you probably don't. But it's because obviously when I was 16, I don't tell people anything because feelings isn't something you should have as a 16-year-old boy. But I do remember the exact moment finding out. We were all sat in the living room at in our home in the UK, and Dad walks in and he says, he basically said we're going to Australia at the end of. I'm pretty sure he told you guys told us at the beginning of 2011 because
yes, probably would have been.
Yeah, because he said we're going this year, and then obviously him saying don't tell anyone because it's not officially official. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm not going to tell anyone. Literally a few days later at school, one of James's friends come up to me and was like, oh, I'm so sorry that you're moving to Australia. I was like, how the fuck do you know?
The good news travels fast, eh?
It certainly does. But,
bad news even faster.
Yeah, I know. But my initial reaction was obviously very much I think I was angry at the time. I think I was very much no, this you can't do this to me. If you know what I mean. It was it was hard.
You dealt with it really well though, in the fact that you didn't, however angry you were or disappointed or upset you didn't really show it that much. And I think probably in your heart you realised that you were 16, so therefore, you really didn't have a choice.
Well, no, I didn't. No, it was I couldn't do anything about it.
I mean, you could have stayed, but I don't know, that whole...
Oh, at 16?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't?
Yeah, you could have left home and you could have stayed.
Oh, well, you didn't tell me that.
Well, I wouldn't have let you. But, you can make those decisions at 16. It would have been a silly one, but, your brother did that, though.
He did. I think I was scared. Mainly. And obviously
that's... Of change? Or?
Yeah, the scared of change, scared of... obviously, because I just... At 16, I was just finishing... Was I just... I finished year 11. I was just finishing year 11 in high school, so obviously I had all those friendships and cliques and whatnot, and that I built over the years, and then to have that sort of... To know that I wasn't going to have that that was the scary bit. And obviously I wasn't going to talk about being scared.
You should have done though.
Oh, definitely. I look back at it and go, I should have spoken about it more. I should have communicated a hell of a lot more than what I did.
We couldn't have changed it, but we could have made it easier.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And I guess that was down to us too, though, to recognise that you guys were going to be feeling that way, and that it wasn't just this massive adventure that we felt that we were on. That it was important for us to know how you were feeling. And I think at the time it was really hard because James was very open about how he felt.
Yes,
and I think that did take up a lot of our energy. And I don't say this to make him feel bad or anything like that, because I think that actually it's made him who he is today, and I think that's one of the things we do need to think about when you look back on your life and have regrets. I think it's best to see them as a way forward and as a way of learning, and even if you can look back and think, oh, I shouldn't have acted like that, or I shouldn't have been like that, you think, but that's who I am now. I've grown from that experience, and I think if we can do that, then it is a positive in a way anyway. But yeah, it must have been incredibly hard for him too. His emotions were all over the place, and so were the girls as well. And I just hadn't really thought about it enough. I don't think it wouldn't have changed whether we came or not. I think that it was the best decision that we made for you guys. And when I think about it now, when we arrived, I believe that we gave you back probably about 3 years, I think, of your childhood. There was such a cultural difference between here and the UK at the time. Obviously, I can't speak now because I haven't lived there for so long. But at the time, that was the biggest thing that I remember, and I was shocked by, was the culture shock of coming here.
Yeah, which was very a big shock, because, I mean, it's two nations that are sort of very similar in.
Yeah, you didn't expect it
people.
To be so different.
No.
Not at all. And I thought I'd lived in many countries where English wasn't their first language, and and to come here, I was like, oh, it's Australia. They speak English. It'll be absolutely fine. Got here and was like, wow, what a culture shock. And I felt so far behind England. I know in that first year it was all, oh gosh, how antiquated. We don't do it that way in England, and it takes a long time to get out of that mindset.
It certainly does.
But yeah, so it was pretty hard in the beginning, really hard.
I mean, let's talk about the move itself, and obviously we were both going through very different things.
Yeah,
I'd say. What was it like for you?
Awful, if I'm honest. I look back on that time now, and it makes me feel physically sick. I was unhappy because my family was unhappy.
Yeah, and
by that I mean you kids were unhappy.
And obviously it was a lot more difficult because Dad had to come over here beforehand. What was it?
He was
6 months, something like that.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. So we did the whole move. I felt like by myself without him, but it wasn't, and it was just as hard for him. He was over here by himself, but there was a lot of packing, and I could not have done what we did without my mum and dad. They literally moved in with us during that time in the UK, and God, that was hard. That was so hard, making sure. We had movers come in and do everything, but it was getting rid of all of the junk, and and making sure everything was clean, and what do we want to take, what don't we want to take, and I had in my head, I just thought I'd want to go over just with a suitcase each, and that's it. Hindsight,
it'd make it a lot easier.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But once we got here, I was so pleased we didn't, because I found everything so expensive. Like, just a washing machine and that sort of thing. So I was pleased that we did bring most of our stuff, and it did give us a sense of comfort, I guess, that it was stuff that we had in our old home. But yeah, that move, I remember that timeline we had up, which was probably for a good 4 or 5 months, I would say.
Yeah.
Out from the actual move, from things to do.
I resented that timeline. I resented it so much. Like, we'll explain it for people. It was like, it was on a huge. What was it on? Because it was like
wallpaper. It was like written on the back of wallpaper or butcher's paper, if you like.
So it's like this really, really long timeline
piece
that
of
Pop
paper,
made, which obviously I had at the end.
Yep.
Move.
The last date was the day we were moving. Yeah.
And quite literally every day that went past, there was something else on that timeline. I was like, fucking hate this timeline. Because it's like there was this inevitable end.
Yeah.
Like,
I've still got it.
Yeah, no, I know you still got it.
Yeah. We should get it out.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't want to. But I remember the time of the move and all that sort of that time. I look back at that and go, I was not helpful at all.
No, neither was James. James bought a bloody a bathroom cabinet, like the day before we moved. He bought a bathroom cabinet. I was like, why have you bought that? It's like, because I want it in my house one day. I was like, oh, Jesus. Okay, right. Well, that gets packed with everything else. Do you know what? It is still wrapped in the blue towel that it was wrapped in England the day we left. And it's not been put up anywhere.
Why not? I'll have it. I'll take it.
I think you'd probably happily burn it, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I think so. But yeah, I look back at that and go, I wasn't helpful at all. I think I was quite selfish.
Yeah, but look, don't be hard on yourself. It's as I said at the beginning, it was something that you were hoping wasn't going to happen. And the harder you made it, for yourself, the easier it was for you to go, oh, it probably won't happen.
Yeah.
You know, and you're only 16. It's, you know, yeah. If you, however, would you change it?
Probably not.
No.
No, it's like, and obviously it was a bit more difficult for me because at the time I was in a relationship, as was James. Yeah. And obviously at 16 years old,
that is the be all and end all.
That's the be like. I look back and go, oh, you're a fucking idiot. So that, I mean, obviously that made the whole thing very difficult. But yeah, the physical move, the day of the move. Yeah. I mean, we left for the airport the day prior to the flight. We stayed at a hotel at the airport.
Oh my goodness, you were so sad.
Oh, it was a very sad moment. It was obviously the day before I'd said goodbye to all of my friends. You know, and they did the whole we'll stay in touch and we'll talk all the time. That didn't happen. And obviously then saying goodbye to closer people and then literally we're at the airport and it's like that's it.
We're doing this.
Yeah. Like there's no going back now.
No.
So we got on the plane.
Just me and you four again.
Yeah. And we got on the plane and flew. Who did we fly? We flew with Etihad Airways.
No, we flew
Singapore. Singapore.
Yeah.
Great flight. It's the longest flight I've ever been on.
Yeah, it would have been.
I've never flown that far before. I've never done.
I think the furthest you'd gone was Spain, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which isn't very far.
No, a couple of hours.
You consider it takes 2 hours to get to the other side of, well, actually more to get to the other side of this country.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 4 hours to get to Perth.
So, but yeah, no, and so that flight was a bit difficult. I remember landing in Australia. We landed at like 6 a.m. Obviously saw Dad. He picked us up. Walked outside. It was bloody freezing.
It was.
I was like, I've been told this country is one of the hottest countries on the planet, and I'm wearing shorts for a reason, and it was bloody cold. Freezing.
Do you know the awful bit about that week though? Going back to the packing. And your dad being in Australia and me being in the UK, and I did that pack by myself with my parents and you guys who
in the container pack.
Yeah. And you've already said you weren't helpful. Neither was James. The girls, well, they couldn't have really done much anyway. And we decided to pack the container 6 weeks before we left. So we were left with nothing in England because we had a decision to make. You know, do you want to spend 6 weeks in Australia with nothing or 6 weeks in England with nothing? So we decided to do it in England because then you guys would still be more comfortable in your own, or what felt like your own home without your, nice things. So we were all sleeping on blow-up mattresses, and
mine had a bloody hole in it.
Yeah, so did mine at the end.
And you guys wouldn't buy. No, mine literally had a hole in it like day one.
It's all right. Apparently, you suffered from insomnia and you never told me, so you'd never be asleep anyway.
I had a hole from day one, and you guys refused to buy me another one.
Well, why would I buy you a new one?
Every morning, I woke up on the ground, so that made my experience of moving.
Look, it's just like camping. Stop complaining. We didn't have very much at all. I think we had the garden chairs inside in the lounge. Anyway, my story is we decided to do it that way around so that I would have the help in England to pack it all up, and then it would arrive a week to 2 weeks before we arrived, and your dad would do all the unpacking in Australia.
It didn't, though.
It didn't happen that way, though, did it? No. We landed in Australia, and our stuff hadn't... Well, it had arrived, but at that point when we left England, it still hadn't cleared customs in Australia. So...
Because it's impossible to get anything into this bloody country.
We ended up passing it on the freeway on our way home. Yeah. And we got home 5 minutes before it rocked up. So there we all are, pissed off. And jet lagged, and there's this massive container that we've now got to empty. I tell you what, I was so annoyed. And I was like, I can't believe I'm doing it. And literally at that point, I was like, what have we done? And yeah, it was cold. It was bloody freezing.
Bloody freezing, yeah.
Was not a good day. Not a good day. And if you thought you were unhelpful in England, oh my God, you too, when we got here.
Oh, come on.
Nowhere
we were
to
like
be seen.
Jet lag. Like James fell asleep on the couch. I remember that.
Yeah.
He
I
just
think
fell asleep
after
on
an
the
hour or
couch.
so of being here, I think you were all asleep. And I was like, oh. And I've got the unpackers going, where do you want this box? I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. I've only just walked around this house for the first time myself. I don't know where anything is. And I remember those packers saying to me as well that because it started to rain, and he said, don't worry, he said, this will be the last day you see rain. We don't get rain in Australia after August.
That was a bunch of bullshit.
What a liar he was.
He was the biggest liar I think I've ever experienced. Like, I remember like that first week we had hailstorms and we had thunder, the weather was terrible that first week.
It was, yeah.
Like,
all good fun and games.
Yeah. I mean, you spoke about the culture shock. So let's talk about life down under at the beginning. Like at the very beginning.
At the very beginning.
I got a haircut.
Oh, you did?
I remember
that. Yes, you
like,
did.
I, for anyone that knows, I had like really long hair.
And that wasn't fashionable here.
And it wasn't fashionable here. Like I saw guys on the street like short hair. I was like, I've got to get my hair cut because I refused to go to school and be the guy with, the British guy with the weird hair. Refuse.
Yeah.
Turns out I made it worse for myself because I got my hair cut, and when you go get your hair cut and they style it for you and it's like, oh yeah, my hair looks great, and then you try and do the exact same thing, it doesn't fucking work.
No, it doesn't.
Oh God. I got my hair cut from long to short, which is like what every girl does in a breakup. So I was that was the equivalent of that.
That's where you were.
That's where I was. And then we went to school, and I remember going to school, and it was such a weird uniform, like wearing shorts at school, like so weird.
With dress shoes as well.
With dress shoes, and your dress shoes couldn't be black. Your socks couldn't be black. They had to be white.
Yeah.
I was like, what the and a like a pale blue top, polo top, and I'm like, this is the weirdest thing. Like,
because you in the UK would have been going into non-uniform, wouldn't you?
I would have been, yeah.
Yeah, so you would have been going into sixth form.
I had to do, because they do schooling different here.
Yeah,
I had to do year 12, which was essentially year 11.
Yeah,
but not. I remember being really annoyed because all my friends in the UK were now out of school, and I had to do another year.
Yeah,
and that was just piss take.
Well, the shorts were.
And shorts were.
I've got that picture of the three of you on your first day. It's like
I hate that picture.
Like I hate. You're 5, but the girls are wearing. I mean, for the girls, it was worse. Come on, they were literally in primary school dresses, and I mean, it's normal here, obviously, to wear those dresses to school, but in England they don't wear that. Well, once you get to year 5 and you stop wearing that type of dress, And I showed it to the girls with those lovely T-bar shoes as well. And Sam was like, I mean, what was Sam, 11? She was like,
something like that, yeah.
No, not wearing them. And I went, okay, that's fine. You can go to school in whatever you like. Because I knew within a week she'd want to wear what everyone else was wearing.
What everyone else was, yeah.
And those T-bar shoes wouldn't be too bad. And I was right. But yes, I've got a lovely picture of the three of you. 2 girls in their dresses. And you in your little shorts. Yeah. Early days Australia. Wonderful.
And that's like the first day, and I styled my hair. Like I have nightmares about this. Like I still think about how bad my hair was.
I don't think it was bad.
Day one, like it was like spiked up to the side. It was like, and I remember that, like, this haunts me. This haunts me, and I never told anyone about this. I'm about to tell you something. I remember going to school, obviously knowing no one, and going into my media class, and people were friendly. They were, introducing themselves, and this one kid that I just knew he was like the dickhead. He introduced himself, said hello, and his friends were around, and they said hello, and I was like, hi, and then he turned to his friend, and like literally mocked my hair, and I was like, I want to kill myself. I want to crawl into a hole and die.
So I guess you didn't spike it the next day.
No, I did. I kept with it.
Oh, well done.
I sort of kept with it. And then obviously I made friends there. And that's I mean, it's where I met Nick Carter, who is my best friend.
Amazing young man.
And just top bloke. And he's really the only connection I've got to high school.
Yeah. Well, you weren't there for long.
No, and that's what that was the difficult part, is obviously going into a school, especially into year 12, where all of these people already have all of their groups. Yeah,
it's already established. Although, do you think that it's very different? I mean, I find it very different here with being in education here and in the UK, in the fact that in the UK you go to a primary school, generally one for your whole primary years, and then you go on to a secondary school, not necessarily with your primary friends, but sometimes you do, and you spend your time generally in one secondary school. Here I find that people chop about all the time. If they don't like the primary school, then they'll go to another one, because there's so many, and it's easy to do. So therefore I think Australians are finding it hard all the time, that they're having to find a new circle of friends every time they're changing schools. So that's, I think, the clickiness of entering into a group that's already established is probably harder in the UK than it is here. Probably, I think they're probably a little bit more open here, although I did find that maybe that the schools lacked a little bit of discipline when it came to children being unhappy, I guess, and that sort of thing. Here I think it's a lot easier for people to be picked on than what I experienced in the UK. But so I didn't really think about that as a culture shock for you guys, but I can see now that it was huge. But I knew nothing about education and schooling here. It was again, it was one of those, it can't be that different. But it actually is. It is. There's huge the whole difference. System is completely different. Yeah. The way you learn, and what you're learning is, it's all very, very, very different.
Certainly was.
Yeah. So the culture shock, I must admit that is one thing that I really struggled with at the beginning. I do remember I think I was 3 months in and still not happy. And I did have, when I first got here, I realised that I had to get out of my comfort zone pretty quick. And I'm not someone that's very social. Okay, so, but then in my head in England, I was like, nobody knows me there. I can be whoever I want to be. I can act any way I want to act because nobody knows me. So I knew that I had to hit the ground running when I got here. And I'd been part of a Facebook group called Poms in Oz, and was emailing several people that lived here. And that, obviously, as the title goes, it's English people in Australia. And I messaged a couple of people, and then they emailed me back saying, when you arrive, let us know and we'll organise stuff. And do you know what? They were absolutely fabulous. I arrived here, and within a week I was going to a candle party. I was like, what the fuck is a candle party?
Candle party. Yep, I remember that. And you did like a Tupperware party one time? I was like, what, you're just going to go discuss plastic?
What do I go? Do I take a candle? What's it for? I went, do you know what? I'm taking a bottle of wine. That's me. and it was lovely. And I got to know... And of course, that was a time when you're like, befriend everyone on Facebook that you meet, because you've just got to try and find a group of friends somehow. And, admittedly, there's a lot of those people I don't see now. And you do then go off and you find your own friendship group. And I think it did allow me to come out of my skin a lot more. And I realised that I had to do... I remember that there was a barbecue down in... Mornington, and it would have been probably late September time. Do you remember that picture of you on the beach with your cardigan? That one with your, cardigans flowing everywhere.
I do. Yeah, hate it.
So anyway, we go down there, and I remember you, all four of you, as in you, your dad, and your two girls, pushing me literally out the car behind me, going, well, you decided that we were coming, you need to go and talk to people. And there was all these people on the having picnics and stuff, and I was like, why is it me? None of you would go and talk.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
it's like a picnic out. No, I was like, Jesus, Mum, I have social anxiety at the best of times. you throw me in a situation like that, I'm just gonna.
Well, literally, that's exactly what happened. You know what? We went to walk on the beach and we took some photographs. We didn't go and do anything, but I did have to have some courage just to step out and go, I'm going out tonight. Someone's invited me, gotta go. If you don't like them, that's fine. Don't need to see them again. You know? So yeah, my attitude's changed an awful lot, I think, being here, but I do now slip back into that whole social hermit.
Oh, that's just me constantly. So,
you need to step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, look, how do you feel about the move now? Literally looking back at it in 2020.
Oh, do you know what? Best thing we ever did.
Oh, definitely.
Now,
definitely
would not go back. I mean, I do remember you saying when you got here, "Yes, I'll come. Yes, I'll do it. But when I'm 18, I'm gone." I was like,
I did say that a lot.
I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I remember you getting to 18 and I was like, sorry? And you were like, oh, God, no.
Yeah, which gave you like 2 years to change my mind, and you managed it. Yeah. No, best thing that's ever, opportunities that I've had here, I know I would never have had in the UK.
Yeah.
Just simple. I wouldn't have found my love for acting or filmmaking if I wasn't here. And I also wouldn't...
Katie.
Yeah, I was just about to say it. Was literally just about to flop out of my mouth.
Sorry.
Now you've made me look like a bad.
Yeah, you should have mentioned her first.
I know I should have. Yeah, all right. Sorry.
Do you want to do that bit again?
Yeah, fine. I know if I didn't come here, I wouldn't have met Katie and all that sort of stuff. So it was definitely the best thing we've ever done, and I'm incredibly thankful and grateful for you and Dad actually doing it and going through with it and making me move down here, and
dragging you here.
And I don't think I say that enough. So thank you for that.
It's a pleasure, and you know I'm so grateful and thankful now that we are all here together. And we all do live close, and now my mum and dad are here. It just it's home. It really does feel like home.
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah.
You know, it takes a while though. You know, even to get out of that habit of when you talk about England, that you know when you first arrive here, you say, oh yeah, but back home, and you go, no, this is my home.
You've got to sort of, there has to be a time where you go, no, you've got to start in this place.
You know, if I had any advice, it would be just don't be tough on yourself. It is so hard. The move is not easy by any means, you know, and but it does get better. And that's what I was going to say, that when I started talking about the lovely friends and ladies, I remember having some ladies around for lunch, and I was 3 months in, and I said to one of them, I said, when does the hurt stop? When does it feel better? When do you stop feeling homesick? And I remember she said to me, at least 6 months. And I was like, okay, that's all right. I've done 3. I can do another 3. And 6 months came and went, and I was still not happy. And I knew that it was because your kids weren't happy. You know, James wasn't happy. And so hand on heart, I can say 18 months it took me to feel happy. And, you know, look at my life and my family and go, yes, I made the right decision. We've done the right thing. So it is a long road.
And if I had any advice for anyone, no matter the age, just be open and talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just communicate. It'll make it a hell of a lot easier. I wish I did. And
yeah, for sure. I don't think we did do enough of that. And I think from my point of view, it's because I felt like I'd done it so many times anyway, and that you guys would just be fine, you know. And we're not all the same. We are all different. No. We take things differently. But I can now honestly say that I don't think any one of us would go, yeah, I want to go back to England.
Oh, no.
You know.
Especially not right now, Mum.
Oh, not right now.
Jesus.
No. I mean, it's great. I wish it was closer in the fact that you could go for a long weekend. Sometimes, that would be quite nice. But
but it's too far away.
But it's not.
It's a different hemisphere, Mother.
Yeah, I know. And it's just like, no. I mean, I've been back twice. I think. Have I been back twice? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's enough. I enjoyed it when I was there, and it was in the summer, and it was a beautiful summer when I was there. But I don't want to stay. No, it was really nice to get on the plane and feel like I was coming home. I must admit that was the nicest thing. Yeah,
I agree.
Australia is home, and I'm thankful that Australia allows us to call it home. Yes. And now that we're citizens and all that,
we are.
Yeah.
We're like officially Aussies.
Officially, just don't quite have the accent.
No. Well, that's a little bit more about us. That's probably
our little journey.
That's probably the biggest thing that's ever happened to us. So we thought we'd share it.
For sure. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for the suggestion as well.
Yeah,
it was great.
It's really, really appreciate that. We'll get this last part done pretty quick because I know we're
push for time.
Words coming out of my mouth. So we'll do a quick small local business shout out, Mum, if you want to go with who you're going with.
This week I'm going to go with KK Scents & Co. They're a little business that do candles and home decor. This lady makes all the stuff herself. And she has got some fantastic stuff. She's got a website and also a Facebook page. Mm-hmm. So her Facebook is just KK Scents & Co. Go along and have a look. She's got all sorts of stuff, some personalised diffusers and candles. I think she's got some wristbands as well. Yes, makes some really lovely stuff. And her name is Kaylee. I don't know whether it's Jardine or Jardin. I'm going to go with Jardine. Kaylee Jardine.
Well,
from kksentsandco.com.au is her website. She's also based in Officer. So great local business. So if you've got anything coming up where you need a little gift for someone, or you would like just a smelly candle of your own, go and sit in the bath and have a soak, then I highly recommend going and having a look.
Perfect.
Okay.
And my one this week is not a local, I'll admit that.
Okay.
But they are small. I'm going to shout out my friend Curtis at Creed Media.
Okay. Yep.
Who he specializes in videography and video production, all that jazz. Mm-hmm. Great guy. He's fantastic, absolutely brilliant at what he does. He makes incredible videos. He works a lot with schools, primarily. Obviously, at the moment, his work has gone he's got nothing because obviously schools aren't open.
Yeah, hard time for all of us.
It's hard time for everyone. I just thought I'd give him a shout out at Creed Media on Instagram, Facebook. I believe his website is www.creedmedia.com.au. But obviously, we'll make a post about that, and we'll have that all tagged in.
Talented young man.
Oh, he's fantastic. I've worked with him a couple of times as well. Mm-hmm. He's assisted me with so much stuff in terms of videography, photography, all that sort of stuff. So I owe him a lot.
Nice to pay back.
It certainly is. So, Creed Media.
All right.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes. Now we did a poll.
Oh yes.
On the old Facebook
How did that go?
About our wordplay games. Everybody that voted said yes, keep the games.
Fantastic. Thank you, peoples.
So the people who said get rid of it
had their chance to come up and say
get
rid of it. It's back. All right.
It's back. It's ready to go. So we've got a game for us to play. We'll squeeze it in. Why not?
All right. I don't know how this is going to go because it was something that I read and went, oh, God, I can't play that. But thought of you instantly because it's pretty much about film. So the idea is that you say an actor and the other person then says a film that actor's in, and then the other person has to say another actor that's in that film. And then the other person then says a film that actor's in. Right?
Gotcha.
I am going to be rubbish because I don't do this sort of thing.
It's such a fun game.
Yeah, but not for, it's not. It's not going to go very far.
Do you want to start it off then? With the actor or actress?
Well, I'm trying to think which is easier. Is it going to be easier for me to pick up a film or easier for me to pick up a name that's in a film? And I think if you start with a film, I'll go with the actor.
All right, I'll start with the film. I'll start with the film.
Should you say actress now? Isn't it just actor for all of you?
I mean, it depends on the person.
Oh, okay. Right.
It depends on the person.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. You go with the film. I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go with who's in it.
What have I watched recently?
Please think something that I've watched.
Okay. Well, I'll keep it simple.
Yeah, please. Do like
Inception. Inception. Really, Mum.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
There you go.
Okay.
And then I'll say Titanic.
Oh, she's got ginger hair. Kate Winslet.
Yep.
Can you see I'm excited about this game? I've got two.
Yeah. What's Kate Winslet in it?
Don't look at me. Oh, I know. She's in that Outback one. The dressmaker.
Oh yeah, the dressmaker. Dressmaker. We'll go with dressmaker.
Isn't Chris Hemsworth in that?
No.
Oh, is it a Hemsworth though? No.
Yes.
Yes. Liam.
Yes, Liam Hemsworth. So I'm gonna then say Hunger Games.
Oh, I don't know her name. It's not even Hermione. It's the other one.
What do you mean it's not even Hermione?
Told you I'd be rubbish. Oh God, what's her name? She lives in Quadrant 7. No, she doesn't.
What? You mean District 9 or District 12?
That's it.
Quadrant 7.
I can't think of one. Oh, yes, I can. Woody someone. The old guy. What's his name?
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
See? Got there.
Yeah.
Go.
And then
but
I'll
you can't find one.
Zombieland.
Oh, well, I'm done because I've not seen that.
Great film.
Have a clue.
It's got Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, Woody Harrelson.
No. Wouldn't have done any of those.
Well, there you go. There's the word game.
That was fun one.
That was a fun one. We should do that again because I liked that one.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Yeah. All right.
Well, cued your way.
Well, that was the Art of Trying podcast, episode 5.
Episode 5. Wonderful.
Hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit more about us and our journey.
Yeah.
And follow us on our socials at the Art of Trying podcast. Comment, give us suggestions, topics, whatever you want.
Yeah, some topics.
Please get us engaged. Yeah. And we shall see you next week in episode 6.
Wow.
Hope you all have a lovely week. Stay safe.
Yeah, enjoy your week.
And we shall see you next week. Okay?
Bye.
Bye.